Kimia Andrew, and you're welcome to Shared Chapters on budgepod.com. Here on Shared Chapters, this is just us having a conversation about my life. Just gist, basically. Talking about how I left my small town in the city of Jos. Okay, Jos people, don't be offended. I'm not calling Jos small, but we all know that Jos is small. Anyway, from my small town in Jos to the city of Abuja to start a new life, start a new chapter, experience life, do more for myself, and hopefully do more for others. That's why we're here. That's why I'm here, and I hope you enjoy the journey with me. So today, I had this conversation with a friend. Right, we saw a video, and I got really offended by the video. I don't know if you see it. It was trending at one point. It was a video of a girl that was harassed by bike guys? Some guys. She was harassed by the guys because she was dressed indecently, and So this friend of mine, she was of the opinion that what the guys did was right. And I said, no, there is no way two wrongs can make a right. Number one, you are harassing a girl. You are harassing her because she was dressed indecently. You're going to put fear in her. And so she's going to react like she's afraid, which means she's going to come at you like she's not afraid. She's going to literally come at you. And she's going to walk away definitely because she's scared for her life. And I don't see why you think that the way to correct somebody that is wrongfully behaved is by doing another wrong behavior. Do you get what I'm saying? And for me, it started this thing in my head. I was trying to explain something to her, but not everybody would understand it. And it's this. Yes, I do not agree that it is right for you to wear explicit kind of clothes, like clothes that are very exposing. Like she was actually dressed quite exposed. She was wearing like a very sheer top that you could see into her bra. She was wearing was it a skirt or ripped jeans? I can't really remember. I know that the top was sheer. It was quite sheer. Okay, so it was sheer. You could literally see her boobs, right? So I get that she wasn't dressed very properly. I get that fact. But the fact that these guys were harassing her means they have been harassing other women for whatever reason. And let's be honest, a lot of the time when these people, not these people, let me not say it that way, when a group of people are fond of harassing people in general, and I'm not talking about just females, I feel like they will harass literally anybody, even guys. They will harass anybody, right? And I don't think it's right that you're posting online and making it look like this girl deserved what she got. She doesn't deserve what she got. If you want her to change, that's not how to get her to change. And I was trying to make her understand something. You do not know the backstory of this girl. You don't know where she's coming from. You don't know how she got here, that she's dressing this way. Yes, sometimes people watch a lot of American movies, foreign movies, and they want to look cool in their head being semi-naked is cool. That's what they think. There's that part. There's the other part where you don't know what experiences this person has had that has changed them so much that they see their body as meat. Like literally, they just see their body as meat. And this just brings me to the conversation that I wanted us to have today, which is basically talking about how sex, introduction to sex, has messed a lot of people up. I have friends that literally don't see anything wrong with them. Usually male friends, because societally, a man that is more sexually active is not frowned upon. Usually they're healed. But a woman that is a lot more sexually active, people look down on her because apparently she's female, so she's not supposed to do that. I don't know who these guys are sleeping with, that they're now being hailed for being promiscuous. I don't know. But anyway, that's what happens. This is the society we live in, right? But what I realized is that a lot of guys were abused as kids. A lot. And they have become sex addicts, I would say. You would say promiscuous, but it is an addiction to sex. If you mean somebody that slept with 100 people, that person has a problem. You absolutely have a problem. It means that anything you see that you're attracted to, you want to bed. That is a problem. The worst one is when the people that you're meeting and you're sleeping with, they don't even have anything in correlation, which means you don't even have a spec. You're just smashing anything. As in, you just see it, you just smash it. That's really a problem. The other part of this is that now we're talking about the female part of it, because a lot of women have been taught to be prude in a way. So it's almost like they put the fear of sex in us. A lot of women that actually have these issues, they end up either going like haywire, or they bustle it in and they become very rigid. So you would have this situation where a guy that was sexually abused as a child, either by an uncle or an aunt, is not even encouraged to speak about it, because you're a guy. Why should you talk about that? They'll shame the life out of you. Literally, the life out of you will be shamed. So they grow up and they become sex addicts, but it's now glorified. So your problem is now glorified. For women that have been abused by uncles, fathers, aunties. For women that have been abused, you are going to be shamed as well for being abused. In some situations, I have seen stories where the father's best friend rapes the daughter, and the father and the family takes the side of the best friend, and the girl is forced to live in that house, knowing that her father chose the side of his friend that raped her. So you would see issues where she becomes promiscuous. She's still being shamed for being promiscuous. So she hates herself, she hates people around her, and she doesn't have any value for herself. So her self-esteem is rubbish. There's nobody she can talk to, because we don't have that system where you can get therapy and stuff easily. And you cannot talk to your parents, because there's a possibility that when it even happens, they will beat the life out of you. They will beat you. Jesus, they will beat you. For getting molested, you will chop beat. Then you now grow up and you now have all of these issues, right? And society makes you feel terrible as a woman for being this way. Now, I'm not saying that either one is better. I'm just saying that we have some of these issues. So what I try to get people to do is to understand, you don't know where this person is coming from. When I see people misbehave, whatever you call misbehaving is, the first thing I do is I try to understand what's this person's backstory. Where are they coming from? When a guy tells me that, oh boy, he met this girl I slept with, she slept with so many guys, she stopped counting at 26. And I start asking, what happened to her when she was young? What did she go through? When I see a guy that he feels he's celebrated, I don't know if he feels he's celebrated, he looks like he's celebrated, and he probably is one of the guys that like he has messed around with whatever he can mess around with. I do get triggered, I'm not gonna lie, but I also have to ask, does he know that whatever issues he has? Because I've seen guys with daddy issues that actually end up being sex addicts, like serious daddy issues that what pacifies them is sex. I've seen guys like that. So I start asking, okay, what exactly got this guy here? How did this person get here? What went wrong? Who messed with him? Because sex is not that thing where if it's perverted, it's normal. It doesn't just pervert itself by itself. Sex cannot be perverted just like that. There's something that has to happen for it to be perverted. When you're going through struggles, he brings a perverted version of it, maybe by porn or something like that. He makes you associate sex. He makes you use sex as a pacifier when you're going through struggles. When life gets hard, sex becomes the pacifier. When you're traumatized, sex becomes the pacifier. And instead of sex being something that you would use to communicate with a partner, that's why sex was initially made for marriage, because it's that thing where two of you become one, literally, and you literally become one to the point that you notice that parents look alike. That's how weird it is. That people's parents begin to look alike. Even though some people look alike before they get married, I get that. But I've noticed that a lot of parents look alike, and it's possibly because of that. That's my I don't have proof. I don't have empirical data that that's what makes them look alike. But I just have the solution. That's part of it, right? So it's that thing. It's so special. It's so powerful that the devil will do anything to pervert it. And he has done it so many times. He is either... You will notice... You even notice that some people become same-sex attracted because of rape. So it's either they were actually raped by same sex or by somebody of the different sex. So maybe you have a young boy that was raped by his uncle, and he grows up and he starts developing attraction to men because of this thing. You would literally also have a young boy still raped by an uncle or a neighbor or somebody that is male in his life, but he becomes a sex addict, right? So it just varies depending on whatever your purpose is in life. Believe me, I know it's weird, but that's how I feel that the devil does, right? So whatever your purpose is in life, whatever group of people that you would affect the most, that's how it ends up manifesting in your life. So you see a girl that was molested by maybe like a man, she would either hate men, or if it doesn't work the first time, believe me, I know it's crazy, but there are women that have been molested several times. I don't know about men. I don't get to talk like that to that depth with my male friends, so I don't really know that. But I know a lot of stories about women that have been molested, like been raped multiple times. We have stories that fathers, brothers sexually molested them multiple times, and at the end of the day, they end up hating. They end up being so addicted to sex that they either end up with women or they try bestiality. I know it's crazy, but these things do happen. And what I really wanted to understand is how important compassion is when we're dealing with people, because you don't know where people are coming from. You don't know what their story is. You don't know what they've fallen into, what they've dragged themselves out of, right? You have no idea what somebody has dragged themselves out of. So yes, I get that we want a society where people are dressed properly, but we're not addressing a lot of these issues. We're just addressing the surface issues. You go to church, you're told to wear a particular kind of clothes. There are churches that do this, but in most of the churches that we grew up in, they don't really address the foundation problem, which is how did we get here that people don't value themselves enough to want to cover up, right? I had a lot of self-esteem issues, so I know when it got to the point where I realized that I had to get to revelation. So this verse that says, "Don't you know your body is a temple of the Most High?" Right? I didn't really get that verse. I'll just read it because it's part of the Bible. You just read. But the day that I got the revelation about that, about how that verse signifies how special our body is, that God cherishes every single part of your body. Your body is special. You were made, like He took His time to make you. Like He took His time to fashion your body, regardless of whatever it is. Is it the cellulite? Is it the, what's that thing you call it? Fupa. Whatever it is, He took His time to create you, and your body is special. And not just anybody should have the right to touch it. When I got that understanding was when I realized, okay, I'm special and I would keep myself, right? But before that, it was just talk. Like, it was just, don't wear this, don't wear that, don't wear this. You can tell anybody not to wear anything. They will not wear it for you in your house now. Haven't you heard stories of young girls that they would dress, cover themselves from head to toe in their father's house the moment they leave? The clothes they wear is like this. I mean, because you don't focus on the shallow things. There's a lot that is going underground. That's what you're supposed to be worried about. That's what you should care about. It's not about you're dressing anyhow to church. Yeah, some people's own, we know, it's just blatant disrespect. But even that blatant disrespect comes from somewhere. Why do they feel they can be rebellious? Why do they feel they can dress anyhow, regardless of whatever people say about them? Why do they want to draw attention to themselves in this way? Because there's something going on underneath. There's a lot going on underneath, and I feel like compassion is something that is missing a lot in our society. It's so missing. People are not compassionate. Like, it's really sad how diskompassionate people are. Because if you're very compassionate, you always think, before you even react to something, you get curious. Why is this person like this? Why is this situation like this? Why is this person putting themselves out like this? What are they screaming at me for? Because sometimes people's behavior is just a way of them telling you what is wrong with them, right? You would see You will hear stories about people that committed suicide and they were very happy, very cheery around their friends. And then all of a sudden they are just like, I'm sorry, but I can't do this anymore. Why? Because there was something going on under and nobody saw it and they didn't know how to tell anybody. I'm also an advocate of speak up. I believe that. I had a conversation with a friend one day. I was like, we were just talking about it and I said, I get that people are going through a lot, but the people that you're expecting to ask you how you're doing are also going through something. All of us are going through something. Just because I'm able to wade through my own waters doesn't mean that I'm not going through murky waters. Because I'm able to wade through it means that I have to find another source for my strength. And if you want help, you have to tell me. You have to tell me, okay, hey, I'm going through this. I need you. Even if it's just sit down with you. Even if it's just be there when you're talking. And I get that people are not very trustworthy these days, but at least you might have one person around you that you trust enough to tell things to. That person might not be your best friend. Some people's friendship is so built on superficial things that they can't actually have conversations like this with their friends. You are just about vibes and chills and all of that. But no matter what you do, you would have come across somebody in your life that you can talk to. Let's be honest, right? Let's be very honest. You would have come across somebody that you can talk to something about, even if it's one person. Even if that person, you know that person would scold you, but at least you can talk to the person. Talk to the person. So yeah, compassion is something that we really need to work on. And I feel like if we're very compassionate enough, we would start understanding people more. And maybe people will start coming out to let their hearts out more. Letting what's going on with them. Letting you know what's going on with them. Not everybody, to be honest. There's some people that if you tell them something now, everybody will hear. That's the end of it. Your life is now going to be ruined times 2. No, not those people, please. Not those people. Avoid those people. But I just thinking about that conversation, I just really wanted to just air this out. And that is, you don't know where people are coming from. You don't know what they've been through. So don't just conclude on what you see. I don't think it's right for anybody to harass anybody. Like, it's not right for anybody to harass anybody. It's not right in any way. If the person is dressed inappropriately, talk to them. If they insult you, you did busybody. Allow them to pass. If you know that they're going to listen to you, then you can talk to them. You don't know this person from anywhere. You now want to be shouting. Dress properly. There was one day I went to the market. So this was when I was still in Jos. I was going to the market. I went trouser to market because it's jeans. It's jeans now. It's market. Will I be wearing skirt to market? There was one woman that was preaching the market too. She literally followed me. I was telling me that people that were wearing jeans will go to hell. Like, I couldn't even be bothered. Because at that point I had gotten past the trouser thing. Right? Also, people have gotten past the trouser thing. We would have arguments in church when I was much younger. Like, okay, if you're telling us not to wear trouser, what about the people in the West that wear trouser? They now say, our culture. And I'm like, oh, okay, so it's a cultural thing. It's not really a Bible thing. It's culture that we are worried about. It's not the Bible. At the end of the day, if you look at it, lots of the times it's culture that we want to propagate. We carry the traditions of men and try to make doctrines out of them. Hilarious. Paul didn't say hilarious, but me, I'm just saying hilarious. Because you cannot twist the Bible for your own control reasons. And a lot of the time we do that. We twist it to control people. I know this because there was one day I was reading certain texts and I found this revelation and I was so scared. I was like, if I tell people this, it might make them misbehave. So I'm not going to tell people. Then I now realize that that's what a lot of people in the church do. You find out a truth that you know will set people free. And you now don't want to tell them because you feel like if I tell them, they'll misbehave. But that's not true. If you tell them the truth properly, they won't misbehave because they'll have a deeper understanding about it. Right? So to be honest, I feel like we are the ones complicating life for ourselves. Life is hard enough. Why should we complicate it? Like, life in general is hard enough. Why should we complicate it? But anyway, I just hope that from what you get today is show compassion. You don't know where people are coming from. You don't know what they've been through. Just ask. Just be curious enough. Ask the question, what's going on with this person? Why are they acting like this? And believe me, life will be better for you and for everyone around you. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for coming and staying tuned with me. See you on the next one. Bye.